I'm Paul Vercammen here, Facebook Live on the streets of Hollywood. We're now talking to people about the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie impending divorce. You may have heard that Angelina Jolie filed for divorce, and ironically, here is the Museum of Broken Relationships, and as we speak, they are now repairing the museum because it was smashed into, according to the people inside, by a drunk driver. Now, all up and down Hollywood Boulevard, which we're standing on, people have opinions, and they're waving us a hearty hello. And Lisa is over here from New Jersey. And your reaction when you heard that this power couple is splitting up?
Yes, my reaction was, of course, it's very sad, but I immediately thought about the children that they adopted. It's such a commitment to make to children, and it just was very sad to me that I heard that news.
So what do you think they should do now that they've launched into a divorce?
I really think that maybe they should seek some type of counseling and try to make it work. I know it's not easy. Marriage is very hard sometimes, but when children are involved, especially making the adoption commitment, it breaks my heart.
And that's not just one child or two children, 6 children.
6 children, and that's the big thing here, and that's what really resonated with me. My heart breaks for them. And hopefully they can come to some kind of resolution.
All right, Lisa, thank you for your insights there. And also, we're talking on Facebook Live. We're going to go into the Museum of Broken Relationships. Two Facebook friends, Lori and Marty, said we need to go in here and talk to them. And come on out, Alexis. This is an interesting museum. First off, what is the Museum of Broken Relationships?
The Museum of Broken Relationships is an exhibit that is based around the leftovers of our broken relationships, what kind of gets left behind. Not things of a lot of physical value, but a lot of emotional value, the kind of things you'd save in a fire.
Okay, word comes down. Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, divorce. What went through your mind?
I was sad, but unsurprised. I was sad because they seemed to be so happy. They have this beautiful family, and it's very aspirational for all of us. But being around here and seeing how many relationships fall apart every day, and learning that no matter who you are, wherever you are, this happens to you. I'm not surprised that it still happens to the best and most beautiful of us.
And so, you now are in a situation where you would like to collect some sort of artifact that is symbolic of this divorce. Is that correct?
I wouldn't turn it away, that's for sure. It'd be interesting to see if someone would like to let them know that we're always accepting donations. The call's always open. It would be interesting to see what the side of the stories would be.
Well, you have celebrity relationship mementos, for lack of a better term, in here, correct?
We do. We have a few. I'm not allowed to say them, but if you follow along on social media, people admit when they've donated their objects.
Aha. Well, thank you so much for your insights. Appreciate it. I'm going to go over here where I've set down the actual copies of the divorce. Interestingly, Angelina Jolie saying that she would grant Brad Pitt visitation. Of course, this is going to be decided by a judge anyway, but she was not seeking any spousal support, or she was not seeking any child support. But again, she was saying that she would give Brad visitation, so it sounds like she is fighting for full physical custody, and all of that will come out later on in the divorce. And as only you can see on Hollywood Boulevard, there's characters here. SpongeBob, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt are breaking up.
Oh, man, I got a chance to get a crack at her now. I've been wanting to get down here for the longest time from Tomb Raiders. Oh, yeah. Woo.
All kidding aside, Angelina Jolie is loved in this town.
Oh, yeah, she sure is. I like in all her movies. Oh, yeah, I like watching her movies. She is gorgeous.
An opinion from SpongeBob. We thank you so much. We should talk about some other aspects of the divorce. One thing that I noticed in the papers is that Angelina Jolie said that when she was calling for separate property, that anything that she earns from now on after the date of legal separation is going to be her separate property. That would be the petitioner's separate property. That's kind of curious to me. I mean, they both have tremendous assets and have made a lot of money in Hollywood. And a lot of this document is very, very, I'll call it just sort of sparse. I mean, there's not much detail in it at all. Brad Pitt, by the way, has some 30 days or so in which to respond to this. And it's going to be later on when we really get a sense for what's at stake here, because they're going to have to reveal, Angelina is why she wants It sounds like sole custody. By the way, the Hollywood Tours people are right over here. We asked them, we said, has this been a big topic of discussion? Do you still drive by their house? And they said, not anymore. So this hasn't really been an issue on that part of Hollywood Boulevard. But here's a business that's got an issue on their hands right now. It's the Hollywood Wax Museum. And this wax museum features inside, we can't see it, but it's got statues, wax statues of Brad and Angelina. And Tim, real quick.
I'm sorry, my manager said I'm not allowed to.
Oh,
with my uniform
right.
on. I'm sorry.
Well, Tim got basically declined. I'm sorry, Tim.
Sorry, I know.
Well, it's okay. You're too polite. I'll just characterize what Tim had said. Inside, they're standing, Brad and Angelina, inside this wax museum. They're standing side by side. So somehow, some way, they're going to have to figure out how to, I guess, cause a wax museum separation of. Here's a gentleman waving. Have you heard about this Brad and Angelina breakup? Oh, real quick, we're going to come in and talk to you. Thank you so much. This is we know it's a little dark in here. We have dark taverns in Hollywood. This is the Snow White watering hole. All right, sir, your name?
Jim.
What do you make of Brad and Angelina getting divorced?
I can't believe it. It's like something that you thought was possibly never going to happen. You thought they were a couple made in heaven, but I guess something happened and they're going to separate now.
There's probably a lot of pressure on divorces in Hollywood, isn't there?
I would suppose there is. There's so much going on here.
And who is your date today?
This is my fiancée, Maureen.
Maureen. So you're going in the other direction. You're getting married.
No, yeah, okay.
What do you think about this Pitt Jolie situation?
Oh, very sad.
I think a lot of people are sad. I think a lot of people wanted them to stay together. Why is that?
Why is what?
Why do people seemingly want this couple to stay together?
Because they represent Hollywood in a very positive light, I guess.
I think that's very well put. Thank you so much. Carry on here in the Snow White Tavern. We continue our walk down Hollywood Boulevard. Excuse us there, sir. I have to give compliments to my cameraman, Chris Oddick. He once walked 9 miles backwards during a protest. So I call him hamstrings of steel. He never seems to get tired. It's not easy to do, by the way, with about a 30-pound camera over your shoulder. Here comes a huge fan of the couple. Alton is a street vendor here in Hollywood. And Alton, this is not sitting well with you at all.
I'm devastated. This is like literally my favorite couple. My favorite Hollywood couple is Angelina and Brad. Since Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I just saw the chemistry they had on film, and it just translated to their relationship. It's like, what? I can't believe that they're not together anymore.
Why is it that you connect with them so much?
I don't know. I've always liked Angelina. I think it's because of her rebellious, independent spirit. And then Brad is just like one of the beautiful people who doesn't get caught up in being beautiful. And they're both very like humanitarian. They're both involved in the community. They're both involved in the world community and in the domestic community. What Brad did in New Orleans, they're just one of my favorite couples because of that, that behavior.
And what about the 6 children who are involved in all of this?
I feel the twins, Matt, the earlier, the other kids that they adopted, I feel bad for them. They're not going to be between 2 parents. I'm a product of divorced parents as well, so I know what it's like being between 2 parents. So.
And you're here on Hollywood Boulevard almost every day.
Yeah.
Give us a sense of what the community thinks about this. Can you characterize that?
Right now, it's kind of shocked. People are just like, that's a couple that I thought was going to be together forever, and out of the blue, and they haven't even given us a real reason to why they've broken up. It's they're recycled. What's that word?
No, I'll show you. I mean, in the divorce documents, you're right. It says irreconcilable differences,
yeah.
And so that means that you state that first. It's basically checking a box, but then down the road, we're going to hear more about just exactly what led to this. Alton, any final thoughts on this couple? I
just hope that they are, have an amicable split. That they handle it, responsibly. They think about the kids, and that the kids, they adjust well, and that they continue to do the work that they do,
We appreciate your insights. One thing I do want to say is Two People magazine, and that's in our Time Warner family, CNN owned by the same company. Brad Pitt released a statement, and he said in so many words that I'm going to characterize this, wants to keep it civil, and that he was really worried about too much media exposure on the kids. And Brad said for the media to respect the kids' privacy and allow them to get through what's undoubtedly going to be a very tough time for them. As we said, 6 children involved here, ages range from off the top of my head from 15 to 8 years old. So there's going to be a lot to hash out here, and it remains to be seen just how public they make this divorce. I think they could do a lot of negotiating behind the scenes, and a lot of whatever it is that's causing this divorce won't leak out to the rest of us and to the media. But that remains to be seen, too. A lot of it's going to be up to the divorce attorneys. How aggressive are they going to be in this case? Are they going to sit back and let the couple sort of hash things out behind closed doors, or are they going to try to get out in front and put a spin on it? It's something that we are just going to have to wait and see. But as you saw here in Hollywood Boulevard today, shock, and people were saddened, and most people on this street really, really, truly seem to like this couple, and so they're wishing for them to do the right thing and get through this divorce with a whole lot of agony. I'm Paul Vercammen reporting from the streets of Hollywood.